What if a carrier's most important aircraft carries no bombs, no missiles, no gun, no pilot, just fuel? That sounds almost impossible. Because when people imagine a carrier facing China, they picture stealth jets. They picture long-range missiles, destroyers, radar screens, and massive decks. But the aircraft changing the math may be far quieter. It is called the MQ-25 Stingray, and it is not designed to win dogfights. It is not designed to bomb targets. It is designed to do something more basic. It gives other aircraft the one thing they cannot fight without: fuel. But why would fuel matter this much? Because distance is now a weapon. If a carrier moves too close, it risks danger. If it stays too far away, its jets fly farther, and every extra mile burns precious fuel. That means less time over the mission area, less room to maneuver, less margin for trouble. And that is the hidden problem. A carrier can be safe and still lose reach. Well, here is the real question. What happens if the carrier survives, but its air wing shrinks? Not physically, not on the flight deck, but in reach, tempo, and staying power. This is where the MQ-25 becomes strange. It does not attack, yet it can extend the attack. It does not protect the carrier with armor, yet it helps keep the carrier farther away. It does not look like the star of the battle, but it may decide how long the stars can fight. And that changes everything. Because in the Western Pacific, the fight may not start with firepower. It may start with range. How far can the jets fly?
How long can they stay? Can they come back safely?
But if the answer depends on fuel, a tanker drone changes everything. It becomes the invisible weapon behind the entire carrier air wing. But why does this matter so much? Because a carrier is not just a ship, it is a floating airbase. But every airbase has one weakness. It must be close enough to matter. That is where the Western Pacific becomes dangerous. The ocean looks open. It looks empty, but distance turns it into a trap. A carrier can move forward and gain reach, but moving forward increases risk. It can move back and gain safety, but moving back weakens the air wing. That is the impossible math. Safety pulls the carrier one way, strike range pulls it the other way, and the aircraft are stuck in between. A fighter leaving the deck is already burning fuel. It burns fuel while climbing. It burns fuel while forming up. It burns fuel while crossing open water. It burns fuel while waiting for orders. Then it still needs fuel to fight. It needs fuel to maneuver. It needs fuel to evade threats. And most importantly, it needs fuel to come home. But what happens when the carrier is farther away? The mission gets smaller before it even begins. The jet may carry more fuel, but that can reduce useful payload. The jet may carry more weapons, but then range becomes tighter. The jet may fly a longer route, but that burns even more fuel. Every choice takes something away. This is not about one aircraft. It is about the entire air wing. A carrier can have dozens of aircraft on board, but numbers alone do not solve distance. If the jets cannot reach deep enough, numbers shrink. Not on paper, not in the hangar, but in actual combat effect. This is why range becomes a silent enemy. It does not explode. It does not flash on radar. It does not need a warhead. It simply eats time and fuel, mile after mile, minute after minute. And that changes the whole carrier equation. But could the carrier just send tankers? That sounds simple. Until you ask the next question. Where does the tanker have to fly? If it stays far back, it helps less. If it moves forward, it faces more danger. And if that tanker has a crew, the risk changes again. Now the Navy is not just protecting fighters. It is also protecting the aircraft feeding them. So the support system becomes part of the fight. This is the hidden pressure. The carrier does not need to be hit. Its air wing only needs to be stretched. Its missions only need to get longer. Its refueling points only need to move into danger. And suddenly, the strongest ship looks different. Not weaker in steel, weaker in reach. But this is where the problem gets worse. Because fuel does not affect one mission. It affects the entire rhythm of the carrier. And that rhythm is where the domino begins. And the first domino is tempo. A carrier does not win by launching once. It wins by launching again and again and again. Fighters leave the deck. Others return low on fuel. Crews reload weapons. Maintenance teams check engines. Deck crews move aircraft like chess pieces. Then another wave launches into the sky. That rhythm is the carrier's heartbeat. But distance slows that heartbeat down. If every jet flies farther, every cycle takes longer. If every cycle takes longer, fewer missions happen. If fewer missions happen, pressure drops across the entire force. The carrier still looks powerful on paper. The deck is still full of aircraft. The escorts still guard the formation, but the air wing is working through a bottleneck. And the bottleneck is not missiles. It is fuel. Now think about the fighter itself. It may have advanced sensors. It may carry precision weapons. It may fly with electronic support. But none of that matters without enough gas. A pilot cannot chase every target. A pilot cannot wait forever. A pilot cannot take every detour. Every decision is tied to fuel state. Push too far and the margin disappears. stay too short, and the mission loses value. This is where tanker support becomes critical. But here comes the second domino. The tanker must be placed where it actually helps. Too far back, and it becomes almost symbolic. The fighters still burn fuel reaching the tanker, then they burn more fuel leaving it. Too far forward, and the tanker enters greater risk. Now a support aircraft becomes a protected asset. Escorts may need to cover it. Commanders must plan around it. The refueling track becomes part of the battle. So the carrier is not only launching fighters, it is launching a whole support puzzle. Fighters need fuel, tankers need protection, protection needs aircraft, aircraft need more fuel, and the loop keeps tightening. But what happens when the tanker has a crew? Now the risk feels different. This is not just hardware. It is trained people in a vulnerable role. They may not be attacking anything. They may not be near the target, but they are holding the mission together. If they cannot move close enough, fighters lose reach. If they move too close, risk moves with them. This is the uncomfortable math. To keep the carrier safer, moves back. To keep the jets useful, fuel must move forward. Those two needs pull against each other, and neither side can be ignored. Then comes the third domino. Sortie rate starts to shrink. That means fewer aircraft over time. Not because the carrier ran out of planes, not because pilots stopped flying, but because every mission now costs more minutes. More planning, more fuel, more coordination, more protection. A simple distance problem becomes a fleet-wide rhythm problem. And once rhythm slows, everything feels heavier. Air defense becomes harder to sustain. Strike packages become harder to repeat. Patrols become harder to maintain. Even routine missions require more careful timing. The carrier is still there. The air wing is still there. But its invisible arm is shorter, and that is the terrifying part. A carrier does not have to be destroyed. Its reach only has to be squeezed. Its fuel chain only has to be stressed. Its support aircraft only need more risk. Then the entire system starts changing shape. So the real question becomes simple. Can the Navy move fuel forward without moving people forward? Can it stretch the air wing without stretching the risk? That is exactly where the MQ-25 enters the story. Well, what does the MQ-25 actually do? It does not destroy the threat. It changes the distance problem. That sounds small, but it is not, because fuel is not just fuel anymore. Fuel is time, fuel is range, fuel is the ability to stay useful. And in a long-distance fight, useful time is everything. Imagine a fighter launching from the carrier deck. It leaves heavy, loud, and fast. But before it can matter, it must travel. It must cross open water. It must join the package. It must reach the mission area. Then it must still have enough fuel to fight. Without refueling, the clock is already running. Every mile forward cuts into the mission. Every maneuver cuts into the return margin. Every delay makes the problem worse. But what happens if a tanker is waiting? Now the fighter can launch, fly out, and refuel. That gives it more fuel for the actual mission, more time near the target area, more room to adjust, more margin if the route changes. This is the first layer of the MQ-25. It stretches the carrier air wing, not by adding more fighters, not by making jets faster, but by giving them more usable reach, and that reach changes the entire equation. The carrier can stay farther back. The fighters can still push outward. The air wing keeps its arm extended. But here is the second layer. The MQ-25 does this without putting a pilot on board. A crewed tanker carries trained people into risk. It needs protection. It adds planning pressure, but a drone changes that choice. It can take on a repeated mission. It can move fuel where it is needed, and it can reduce pressure on crewed aircraft. That does not make it invincible. It does not make the carrier untouchable, but it changes what commanders can risk. Sometimes the best protection is not thicker armor. Sometimes it removes people from the vulnerable job. That is the quiet twist. The MQ-25 protects reach by protecting choices. But there is a third layer. It also frees combat aircraft from tanker duty, because every fighter used as a tanker is missing elsewhere. It is not carrying out the main mission. It is not adding sensors to the package. It is not adding weapons to the strike. It is serving as a fuel truck. That may be useful, but it is also expensive. You are using a combat jet for support work. What happens when MQ-25 takes that job? The fighter returns to being a fighter. The air wing gets more real combat capacity, not because more jets magically appear, but because fewer jets are trapped in support roles. This is where cost and effectiveness connect. A support drone can multiply other aircraft. It does not need to fire a weapon. It only needs to free aircraft that can. But could one drone really change carrier tempo? That brings us to the fourth layer. A carrier does not fight one clean mission. Fights in waves, cycles, and rotations. Launch, refuel, patrol, return, reload, repeat. If fuel is easier to place, each wave becomes smoother. Each wave is smoother, timing improves. If timing improves, the carrier keeps pressure longer, and that is the hidden value. The MQ-25 is not just extending one flight. It is stabilizing the rhythm behind many flights. It helps fighters stay on station longer. It helps commanders plan deeper routes. It helps the carrier avoid creeping forward too early. In other words, it supports the whole machine, not from the front, from the bloodstream, because fuel is the bloodstream of air power. Stop it and the machine slows. Stretch it and the machine reaches farther. But there is one more layer. It changes how we define a weapon. Most people look for the flashiest aircraft, the stealth jet, the bomber, the missile. But modern warfare is not only about striking first, it is about sustaining the ability to strike again and again and again. That is why the MQ-25 matters. It does not replace the fighter. It makes the fighter more useful. It does not replace the carrier. It helps the carrier stand farther away. It does not erase the threat. It changes the pressure created by the threat. So if distance shrinks carrier power, MQ-25 pushes back. Not with a bigger explosion, not with a louder engine, not with a dramatic dogfight, but with fuel placed at the right point. That is why this drone is strange. It is not the spear, it is not the shield. It lets the spear reach farther. And once you see that, everything changes. The real question is no longer simple. How many fighters does the carrier have? The better question is this: how far can those fighters actually matter? How long can they stay useful? How safely can they return? And who gives them the fuel to do it? That is the part most people miss. The MQ-25 is not glamorous. It is not built for the movie moment, but it touches the most basic rule of air power. If the jet cannot reach, it cannot fight. If it cannot stay, it cannot influence. If it cannot return, the mission changes. So the MQ-25 does something subtle. It keeps the whole system connected. Carrier, fighter, route, mission, and return. All tied together by fuel, and that is the twist. In a fight shaped by distance, fuel becomes strategy, time becomes position, position becomes power, and a drone with no bombs becomes a weapon. So this is the real lesson. The MQ-25 is not dramatic. It does not light up the sky. It does not chase fighters. It does not carry the famous payload, but it touches the one thing every mission needs: reach. A carrier can carry many aircraft. Its deck can look unstoppable. Its escorts can form a moving wall. But if the jets cannot fly far enough, power shrinks. If they cannot stay long enough, pressure fades. If they cannot return safely, the mission changes. That is why fuel matters so much. It is not just a liquid inside the aircraft. It is the distance between safety and usefulness. It is the time between launch and return. It is the margin when plans suddenly change. And in the Western Pacific, margins may decide everything. The MQ-25 represents a different way of thinking. Not always a bigger missile, not always a faster jet, not always a louder answer. Sometimes the answer is quieter. Make the aircraft you already have reach farther. Keep the carrier farther from danger. Keep pilots out of repeated support risk. Keep the air wing moving longer. That is why this drone matters. It is not replacing the carrier. It is not replacing the fighter. It is not solving every threat, but it strengthens the chain between them. And modern warfare is built on chains. Sensors, fuel, timing, range, and return. Break one link and the system slows down. Strengthen one link and everything reaches farther. So if a tanker drone can change carrier math, what else is hidden?
How many invisible weapons is I battle before anything fire?
Tell me what system you want explained next. Carrier warfare, stealth aircraft, support drones, or electronic warfare. Because sometimes the quietest machine changes the biggest fight.